Garuda said, "What are the torments like that the sinful suffers, having passed along the way of Yama into the abode of Yama? Tell me this, O Kshethra." The blessed Lord said, "Listen, O descendant of Vinatâ. I will tell it to you from the beginning to the end. Even at the description of hell you will tremble. 440 yojanas, O Kshethra, beyond the city of Bahubhiti, lies the great city of the King of Justice. The sinful man cries when he hears the mingled wails of oh, oh, and having heard his cry, those who walk about in the city of Yama all go to the doorkeeper and report it to him. The doorkeeper Dharmadwaja always stands there. He, having gone to Chitragupta, one reports the good and evil deeds. Then Chitragupta tells it to the King of Justice. The men who are deniers, O Turkshaya, and always delight in great sin, these are all, as is proper, well known to the King of Justice. Nevertheless, he asked Chitragupta about their sins. Chitragupta, although he is all-knowing, inquires of the Śravaṇas one. The Śravaṇas are the sons of Brahma who wander in heaven, on earth, and in the nether regions, hear and understand at a distance, and see a long way off. Their wives have a similar nature, and are called, distinctively, Śravaṇas. They know accurately all that is done by women. These report to Chitragupta everything that is said and done, openly and secretly, by men. These followers of the King of Justice know accurately all the virtues and vices of mankind, and the karma born of mind, speech and body. Such is the power of these, who have authority over mortals and immortals. Thus do these truth-speaking Śravaṇas relate the actions of man. To the man who pleases them by austerity, charity and truthful speech, they become benevolent, granting heaven and liberation. Knowing the wicked actions of the sinful, those truth speakers, relating them before the King of Justice, become dispensers of misery. The sun and moon, fire, wind, sky, earth and water, the heart, Yama, day and night, the two twilights, in justice know the actions of man. The King of Justice, Chitragupta, Śravaṇas, the sun and others see fully the sins and merits of the embodied being. Then Yama, having assured himself concerning the sins of the sinful, summons them and shows them his own very terrible form. Very sinful people behold the terrifying form of Yama, huge of body, rod in hand, seated on a buffalo, roaring like a cloud at the time of pralaya, like a mountain of lamp-black, terrible with weapons gleaming like lightning, possessing 32 arms, extending 3 yojanas, with eyes like wells, with mouth gaping with formidable fangs, with red eyes and a long nose. Even Chitragupta is fearful, attended by death, fever and others. Near to him are all the messengers, resembling Yama, roaring. Having seen him, the wretch, overcome with fear, cries oh, oh. The sinful soul who made no gifts trembles and cries again. Then, by command of Yama, Chitragupta speaks to all those sinners, who are crying, and bewailing their karmas. Oh, you sinners, evildoers, polluted with egoism, injudicious, why ever did you commit sin? Oh, you foolish people, why ever did you commit that misery-giving sin which is born of lust, anger and association with the sinful? Hitherto you have committed sins with great delight, and thereby are now destined for torment. It is no use turning your faces away. The sinful actions done by you are very many, and those sins are the cause of unavoidable misery. It is known that Yama deals equally with the fool and the learned, the beggar and the wealthy, the strong and the weak. Hearing these words of Chitragupta, the sinful then grieve over their karmas, and remain silent and motionless. The King of Justice, seeing them standing motionless like thieves, has fitting punishment ordered for the sinful. Then the cruel messengers, having beaten them, say, "Go along, you sinner, to the very dreadful terrifying hells." The messengers, Prakanda, Chandaka one and others, executors of the sentences of Yama, having bound them with one noose, lead them towards the hells. There's one big tree there, glowing like a blazing fire. It covers 5 yojanas and is 1 yojana in height. Having bound them on the tree by chains, head downwards, they beat them. They, for whom there is no rescuer, cry, burning there. Many sinful ones are hung on that silk cotton tree, exhausted by hunger and thirst, and beaten by the messengers of Yama. Oh, forgive my faults with suppliant hands, those most sinful people, helpless, implore the messengers. Again and again they are forcibly struck, by the messengers, with metal rods, with hammers, with iron clubs, with spears, with maces and with big pestles. Thus beaten they become still, swooning away. Then, seeing them quiet, the servants address them thus. Oh, you sinners, you evildoers, why ever did you commit such wicked deeds? You did not even make the easy water and food offerings at all. You did not give even hold a mouthful of food to the dog or the crows, nor honor your guests, nor make the water offering to the forefathers. You did not meditate well upon Yama and Chitragupta, nor repeat their mantra, along with which torment cannot exist. You never visited any places of pilgrimage, nor worshipped the deities. Though living as a householder, you did not even express compassion. You did not do any acts of service. Suffer the fruits of your own sin. Because you are devoid of righteousness, you deserve to be beaten. Forgiveness of faults is done by the Lord Hari One Isvara. We only punish miscreants, as we are ordered. Thus having spoken, the messengers heat them mercilessly, and on account of the beating they fall down like glowing charcoal. In falling, their limbs are cut by the sharp leaves, and they cry, fallen down and bitten by dogs. Then the mouths of those who are crying are filled with dust by the messengers, and, being bound with various nooses, some are beaten with hammers. Some of the sinful are cut with saws, like firewood, and others thrown flat on the ground, or chopped into pieces with axes. Some, their bodies half buried in a pit, are pierced in the head with arrows. Others, fixed in the middle of a machine, are squeezed like sugarcane. Some are surrounded closely with blazing charcoal, and wrapped with torches, and smelted like a lump of ore. Some are plunged into heated butter, and others into heated oil, and like a cake thrown into the frying pan they are turned about. Some are thrown in the way, in front of huge maddened elephants, and some with hands and feet bound are placed head downwards. Some are thrown into wells, some are hurled from heights, others plunged into pits full of worms, are eaten away by them. By the hard beaks of huge flesh-eating crows and vultures they are pecked in the head, eyes and faces. Others clamor, give up my wealth, which you owe me. In the world of Yama I see my wealth being enjoyed by you. Thus disputing, the sinful, in the hell region, are given pieces of flesh torn off with pincers by the messengers. Thus quarreling, they are taken hold of by the messengers, by order of Yama, and thrown into the dreadful hells, Tamizra and others. Hells full of great misery are there, near to the tree, in which there is great misery indescribable in words. There are 84 locks of hells, O bird, the midst of which are 21 most dreadful of the dreadful. Tamizra, 1 Lohe Sanku, 2 Maharar Vashalmali, 3 Raurava, 4 Kudmala, 5 Kalasutraka, 6 Pitimritika, 7 Sanghata, 8 Loitoda, 9 Saviza, 10 Sampradapana, 11 Manaraya, 12 Kaka, 13 Ulu, 14 Sanivana, 15 Mahapathine, 16 Avici, 17 Inhatamizra, 18 Kambaipaka, 19 Sampradapana, 20 Antapana, 21 and all 21. All formed of various afflictions and diseases of different classes, the various fruits of sin, and inhabited by multitudes of servants. The sinful fools, devoid of righteousness, who have fallen into these, experience there, until the end of the age, the various torments of hell. Men and women suffer the torments of Tamizra, and Hadamizra, Raurva and other hells, which are produced by secret association. Thus he who is holding a family or gratifying his belly, having given up both, and being departed, obtains appropriate fruit. Having cast off his body, which was nourished at the expense of other creatures, he goes alone to hell, provisioned with the opposite of happiness. The man experiences in a foul hell what is ordained by his fate, like an invalid who has been robbed of his wealth, the support of his family. The individual, who is fond of supporting his family by unrighteous means alone, goes to Anhatamizra, which is the place of uttermost darkness. Having experienced in due order the torments below, he comes here again, purified.